I don't think this applies to everybody, but I believe that some of the worst aspects about you is what causes you to do great things. They come from the very same sources. Conflict has been a major part of Joe Budden's career. Whether he's doing music or media, the result is always the same. Whether he's going up against legends like Jay-Z or Lil Uzi Vert, Method Man, Raekwon, The Game, Ransom, Wale, it doesn't make a difference. The result is always the same with Joe. But that's exactly what's made him a great battle rapper, a great MC, and a good media personality to watch, because Joe wears his emotions on his sleeve and he doesn't pull any punches. He's critiqued Chance the Rapper a few times on Everyday Struggle. Well, one is a critique and the other one I feel is a truth to Joe. The truth that Joe holds is that he believes that Chance is not an independent artist, that although he markets himself as one, he's really a signed artist. The critique came just a few weeks ago when Joe was shown a clip of Chance performing at the Colbert Show, and this was his reaction.
Day is on its way, couldn't wait no more. Here it comes.
Seriously, guys, are we playing the entire performance? Trying to get us in trouble. What's happening? Ak, what's wrong with you, man?
What the fuck is Chance doing? What is this style of music? Is this like polka music? What the fuck are these two niggas doing? What the fuck is he talking about? It's too positive. This is too positive. It's too positive. Sorry.
I mean, I've been saying about Chance,
I don't want to hear your fucking
catch...
guitar strings. And I love Daniel Caesar too. And I love Chance. Get this collab the fuck out of here. What is this soft? What is this spoken rap?
Music fans aren't a monolith, right? Like, we're not all alike. We don't listen to the same artists for the same reasons. I could listen to J. Cole and get something completely different than you could get. But I believe that if music, for example, is a form of escapism to you, then there is no way that music can be too positive. If everything is about you mentally getting out of your mundane life, your struggles from your job, your relationships, then you would always want to listen to an artist sort of be the same to you, because it's not really about the artist. It's what the artist gives to you. It's what they do for you. If music lives with you constantly, if music is basically what you consume all the time, then it's not really a form of escapism. Music is just something that you love. And if music is something that you love, then you watch everything with a fine-tooth comb. You know when an artist is being lazy. You're more of an educated listener. And I think that if somebody is just pretty much just one tone all across the board, then they can be too positive. I think what happens is when people hear the word positivity, they feel like it's an attack, as if you feel, or as if Joe feels, that music shouldn't really be positive at all, as if it's not a space for positivity. And part of the reason why that happens is when you have artists like Chance, somebody who has sort of taken it upon himself to be a bit of a social activist, as academics mentioned in this clip, you get a sense that people can't separate the artist from the music. So if you say something about Chance that he is too positive, then it's Chance the real person and Chance the artist. How could he not be positive? You know, like, it's an attack against Chance's character. The same with Logic. How could you say that about Logic when Logic is doing so much for suicide victims, for people with depression, because he himself is depressed? When in reality, what the media personality is doing, what Joe is doing, is he's just commenting on the music. And sometimes people can't separate the two. When you watch a sports show, I mean, a great example of this would, of course, be any sports show that you watch on ESPN or Fox Sports 1, because Everyday Struggle is based on these shows about debates. So when somebody critiques LeBron James, they are not critiquing LeBron James, the activist. They're not critiquing him on his philanthropy, about him putting hundreds of kids through college and what he's done for Akron, Ohio. They're talking about what he did during the fourth quarter of the game last night. So people have a problem separating the two. And when they hear that something is too positive, they feel like it's an attack on their artist. But Chance, of course, did hear about what Joe said. Now this was discussed on the show, whether what Chance is replying to right now, whether Chance is replying to Joe saying that he's not a independent artist, or Joe making the comment about him being too positive and basically laughing at his performance. But here was Chance's response to Joe Budden.
Culture, but it's like, nigga, I am the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever I choose, whatever decisions I make, like, they're made. And I also, I fuck with Joe Budden. Like, I know that he has to do his thing because he has a talk show now, and like, he used to be an artist, and like, at that time he could do whatever he wanted to, but like, now he's got to go to his job on Fridays and like, clock in, clock out, and like, it's important for him to say things that are going to be, you know, incite conversation. And so
music doesn't need media. You know, I'll bring it back to sports. Sports needs media. Football needs commentators to keep the conversation going during the week, to talk about Aaron Rodgers and the storyline of him being hurt. What are the Packers going to do now? Are they going to hire Colin Kaepernick, or are they going to go with the backup quarterback? They need the conversation to go because there's an event by the end of the week. There's an event. There's something to get to that the conversation propels, and that's what makes the NFL a strong product. It's the storyline. Storyline doesn't necessarily strengthen music because it doesn't lead up to anything. Music is normally a free-flowing thing that's constantly going. Yes, artists have albums coming out, but for the most part, the story and the conversation of the music really isn't needed by the artist. And I think as a result of that, the artist always sort of treats the commentator like they have something against them. So if they're presented with a comment that's made by someone, what's normally said is a shitty comment like, oh, they're just doing it for attention, or they're doing it for these reasons. And here's where I'll give Chance credit, because Chance said he's doing it to incite conversation. So it seems like Chance has a bit of an understanding about media, which is a credit that I'll give him that most artists don't have. Most artists just, their number one attack is always, well, he wants attention. He wants me to talk about him because I'm a big deal. And, you know, and although Chance did sort of take a condescending tone towards Joe, which I pretty much think is the word that Joe meant to use with that other clip that I showed you. It wasn't really positive. I think what applied really was passive, because nothing about that song that Chance performed on Colbert was positive. I think it was just a passive, you know, sort of cuckish tone. And you know, because the song sounded melancholy. There was nothing uplifting about it at all. But I think the reason why there's always this constant conflict when it comes to media and music is generally because the artist doesn't need us. They don't need media. They don't need me to talk about them. They don't need academics to talk about them. They don't need Joe to talk about them. They don't need anyone to talk about them. And they know that. And that's why they're short with them when it comes to interviews. It's the reason why Drake only does one interview a year. And if he does an interview, it'll be a softball interview with a business interest. It'll be with Zane Lowe, or, you know, it'll be an interview with that DJ. I'm forgetting what his name is, the one with the deformed arm. And I don't say that to be a dick. It's just the only thing that I remember about him. But can an artist be too positive? I've told you guys before, when we discussed the idea of being fake deep, and because of Chance's philanthropy, you know, his tone sort of suggests you shouldn't really question me. And if you question me, it's because you have some form of disconnect, or there is something wrong with you. That is a form of being fake deep, because it's sort of an attack, just in a very passive way. Me personally, when music is overtly positive, it's ordering you to do something. It's telling you to be a certain way. So that's not something that I can get with on a constant basis. It's not something that I can constantly listen to. But if I were a person who would just listen to music as a source of inspiration, as a source of getting away from the minutia of my everyday life, then you can give me the positivity all day because it's a part-time thing for me. It's very different when you live with the music. You know, I'm sorry to break it to you. If you're listening to this to this commentary right now, you fall in the second category. There's no fucking way that anyone that would listen to such an obscure, just niche commentary about rap if music wasn't something that they really cared about. So I think that most of you would agree as well that, of course, an artist can go too far with anything. You can take anything to the full extreme. It just depends how tasteful you do it. It just depends how you balance it out with other things, I suppose. But what do you guys think about the topic? Can Chance be too positive? Can any artist be too positive? Please let me know in the comment section below. And do not forget to please like this video. It helps me out so very much. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.